Hey, 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 everybody. It's your lovely Lotus Blossom Lizzie. And we are going to be doing a flip through of this wonderful, beautiful, fantastical journal that I used for my December dailies. And before we get started, I always like to invite those who love junk journaling as much as we do to subscribe to the channel. And you can do that by hitting the subscribe button below and also hit the notification button so that you'll be notified when more videos like this one come out as well. And if you want to see processing videos of all these lovely pages, because I actually went live over on the Patreon channel, you can head over there and check those out. They're available for replay, and that's at patreon.com/Liz for a day. And so, y'all, I had so much fun working, and well, I can't say working. I don't like to use working for this because this was more creating and playing. I had a lot of fun doing the December dailies. So, in case you all don't know, I had some questions about what a December daily is. And basically, it is very simple. The only thing it is just actually doing some type of documentation in a journal daily, every day. And that documentation could be just playing around in your journal. It could be just gluing something down. It could be, harvesting pictures, writing lists, making plans, just anything, putting pictures in your journal and just doing it every day. And it has become a really big thing for December dailies in the junk journaling community and also bullet journaling as well. I think it actually originated in the bullet journal community, but I'm not sure. And so that's what December dailies are all about. So I am going to go ahead and say hello to those of you who are in the chat right now. But I just want to say that I already know this is going to be a long video. And I'm going to try to not go into too much detail on the pages. But what I want to share is basically what I really thought about the December dailies. And some pros and cons of things, and I want to share like some ideas with you, ideas that you'll be able to use in any of your junk journals. And it doesn't have to be for December at all. And so I want to say hello to Nettie and Sheila. Thanks for coming on a bit early with me. Although I didn't get to chit chat with you that much, I still appreciate you all coming on early. And hello, Penny Pen. Hey, hey, hey. And also Aranda. And hello, Rachel at Scrap Craftastic. Hey, and Jamie. Thank you all for coming in. And so, also for all of you who are just listening, I appreciate you coming over to the channel as well. So, hey, Patricia, I know that I'm going to do this again, definitely. Y'all, look how fat this got. It's crazy. It's a crazy fat junk journal. And I love the junk journaling process. And what's great is, as a maker of junk journals, it's nice to use the journals so that I know how to kind of do the construction on it. Okay, so hey, Emily. All right, so this is how it's going to go today because I already know it's going to be long. I'm not going to be going back and forth with you all in the chat too much. If you all have any questions for me, you're going to have to make it detailed in the chat because I'm going to go back and look at the questions after I get done going through this, or else we're going to be here for 15 hours. I already know. So I'm just saying. Oh my goodness. Hey, Wendy at Fab Crafts and more. She says she's at Costco's watching. Right on, girl. That's what I'm talking about. That makes me so happy. You drop your Costco shopping to come and be with me. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and get started here. And first of all, I made this journal out of an album cover. And some of you were on with me when I did that. And I'm glad I did an album cover because it was kind of the perfect thickness to do. It has, the cover is kind of, it's really kind of a soft cover and it's very pliable and bendable. So that's something I would definitely do again if I choose to put a closure on here. It'll close up quite nicely because right now it sits on the shelf like this. Which I like. All my journals are sitting like this on the shelf. But I will say that the spine, I did the spine. It's a 1.5 inch spine, and it has 4 signatures. I'm gonna show you in the bottom because it's easier to show you. And it has 4 signatures, and it was a hidden spine. Now I will say the only bad thing with a hidden spine is if you wanted to take some pages out because it was getting kind of full, I could have moved some signatures around or taken some pages out if this was not a hidden spine. But since it was a hidden spine, I couldn't take anything out of this. Now, I used fabric on the spine over the, I used the original album cover to make the spine as well. So it's all of this is all album cover, and there is a lot of stitching on here, but you just can't see it because of the pattern of this particular fabric that I use. So I love using fabric on the spines because I know once I put that fabric on here, it's not going anywhere. So that's definitely a plus to this. And I did my first embroidery on here as well. So not only was this my first December dailies, but it was also my first embroidery. Here's my embroidery right here. And it's just says December 2019. There's a little smiley face right here. And I tried to get the smiley face on there, but it worked out okay. It wasn't too bad. And there was a little bit of writing right here on the cover, so I covered it up. And I also put some fabric on the inside of here before I actually sewed around the perimeter of this. So you can see where I sewed around here with my favorite stitch, which is number 27 on my SQ9185 Brothers computerized sewing machine, which I dubbed the whippersnapper. And so I did that on all around on both sides here. And it came out really good, and I've been using it all month, going in and out of it, sometimes 3 or 4 times a day, and everything, the construction is really held up on here. Now for the tabs. Now one thing I wanted to do was kind of reiterate that you don't have to have a lot of fancy stuff to even get this effect that I have here. You can use like old clothes and just rip them up for fabric. You can use whatever kind of construction paper or craft paper that you have for the tabs. I did my tabs I used a tab punch, I used a circle punch, and then like cut the circle in half for the punch as well. I use fabric. Some of it is sewn, some of it is not. I use ribbons. I use seam binding. We have lace in here. Just all kinds of wonderful dangliness, some trim. So whatever just however I just felt like doing it, that's what I did, and that's how you have to do yours. You just kind of have to make it fit your personality, because some people may not want as much stuff in their journals as I have in mine, because I'm an overfilled kind of girl. Okay, so into the inside here, I also put pockets on here, and y'all didn't put the pockets in until like one of the last sessions. And it's not because I purposefully waited to put those in. It's just because I just, time is just like so short. I just did what I could with it. I promised myself to do like an hour per day working in the daily journal. And I was already doing that in the junk journals before December hit anyway, so that wasn't really an issue. So I get up early in the morning so I can do my journaling before everything, for the poop hits the fan for the day. All right, so let's go ahead and dig into this, because I know y'all tired of me talking, but I'm trying to give y'all some ideas, okay? All right, so I'm gonna try to hold this open as best I can because it's like the Leaning Tower of Pisa right now. It's so freaking big. I can barely hold my hand to open it up. I mean, to hold it up. So first, I harvested a lot of the images in here from a cookie catalog. And y'all, it was junk mail. I did not order the cookie catalog. It came to my house, so I felt like it was fair game for me to actually use that cookie catalog. So you'll see lots of pictures in here. So I have a belly band here, and again, I made this into a journaling card, and it was just one of the images out of the cookie catalog. So you can see that. And also, I did just a ton of sewing in here. Everything in here has sewing on it because y'all know how much I love sewing. So I have a ton of sewing in here. And I also made date numbers for each day that I was going to be putting things in here. Now, I didn't attempt to put things in date order chronologically, but it kind of went that way. I think there was only one day that was kind of out of order, but I didn't mind like things being out of order, but I managed to like keep things in order, and that was cool. Your junk journal is a great place to use your scrap paper as well, because here's some a scrap piece of paper here, which was some ledger, and I just wrote on it and I glued on it. And this is actually on some vellum here, because I love putting vellum around my signatures, because I feel like vellum gives your book a little bit of class, so I wanted to class it up a little bit with the vellum. All right, so we have a flip out, and like I said, I'm not going to try to be too detailed on everything, but I just want to kind of give you some ideas. I have a ton of pockets in here, and of course tags. We made this tag together in this pocket, and I have a picture here. And then this is a tag that I made from an ordinary Christmas tag. So nothing special. If there's no sewing on here, something you could really do if you actually don't have a sewing machine. And I also made a belly band out of this small card, and here I just stapled on a tab. So the easiest way to get some quick and down and dirty tabs is just to make your shape and just staple it on, because staples add some very nice texture to the book. So here is my Christmas list. It's my actual Christmas list, and y'all haven't sent Christmas cards out since the beginning of time, and I decided to do it this year. So I compiled my Christmas list. So now next year, I know exactly where my Christmas list is. I can pull it out of this book and make a copy of it for next year. And then I use trash in here. So here's this little piece where it says Christmas cards was from a Christmas card book that was earmarked for the trash. And then this is number 1. So on this side here, oh, and let's not forget Snoopy. Y'all see Snoopy right there? He's a paperclip. We did those paper clips together. So over here on this side, I did some flip outs, and flip outs are a great way to get some added space if you wanted to do some journaling. And if you can't think of anything to journal about, you can always put your to-do list in here, because that's what I did right here. And y'all, I sewed around it. I sewed around the to-do list, and then I put it into the book. And this is number 2 here. So you could even use like Post-it notes or something like that you have sitting on your desk, and you can put it in your book. It's a junk journal. You know what I'm saying? It's a junk journal, people. So on this page, y'all, this was a white page before I started, and I had several white pages in here, but I have an aversion to white pages in my book. So I painted this with some Dylusions red paint, and I love the way it came out. And this is from a napkin. Some of you may have that napkin, and I wanted to use like the little elves. And this here was a piece of Christmas stationery, and I just made it into kind of a fold out. Now, I'm still going to go back and put some things in here because I wanted to put some special things in this particular page, and I haven't done that yet. But what I did was I just sprayed the back of this with some Tattered Angels, and it's like that nice, really nice, shiny, glimmery mist kind of stuff. And then I'll go ahead and add my pieces to this later, and I also did like some stamping. So I'm sorry if I'm talking fast because I'm telling y'all, I already know this is gonna take a little while. Okay. Yeah, Snoopy is so cute. All right. So on this page, this is where I started getting into the memory keeping. And I don't usually use a lot of photos in my junk journal, but I used a lot in this one. And I found that it was quite helpful for my journaling process because I use the pictures as like a timestamp, which is something I hadn't thought about. Because when you take your pictures, even on your iPhone, they actually have a date when you took those pictures. So you could take pictures throughout your day, and then when you do get ready to junk journal, your pictures can kind of prompt you. They're like journal prompts when it comes to putting things in here. So I knew when I looked at the third, because this is day 3, I knew when I looked at the third that I went to the Cracker Barrel with my mom, and then I also did my nails. And here's another tip for you. You can use notes from notepads, pages from a notepad. So this was a notepad. It was a Christmas notepad. And I like to write on my pieces of paper before I put them into the journal if possible. Because when it gets like this, it's hard to write on things. So of course this was at the beginning, so it wasn't quite this fluffy yet. But now it would be very hard for me to do that. So, excuse me. All right, this page right here, it is pink. Yes, it's pink, y'all. And this is where you have to make your junk journal your own junk journal. So this is very themey, and this whole junk journal has lots of reds and greens and golds in it. And but I wanted this page to stand out, and that's because this was the day when I went to go get my mammogram done. Now, everything was okay with the mammogram, but I still feel like going to do my mammogram every year is it's I don't know, it's something about that. It's very special to me. I don't know why. People don't like doing that stuff, but I like going and make sure everything is okay, and then I'm fine. And so this was another white page, and I painted it pink to commemorate, Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and just to kind of, for this page to stand out. And I put a few things from that actual doctor's visit. Now, these little thingies right here, y'all like my little lady here? These right here are the leads that they used on my nipplage, and so I kept those. So these would have been going into the trash, and they probably would have lived forever because they got adhesive on them there and they're plastic and all that stuff. So now they're gonna live in my book. And this was number 4. So onto this page right here, which is actually 2 Christmas cards put together. So I don't know what you all do with your Christmas cards, but usually when I get Christmas cards, I will kind of tuck them away into a drawer somewhere, never to be seen again. They go away to the land of lost cards and whatnot. But now, this year, I didn't get that many cards, but the cards that I got, they all went into this junk journal. And I repurposed them. So the things that you put into your junk journal can definitely be repurposed. So I put Love Self here, and this was the 5th. And when you open this up, it is like a big old fold out here. And again, this is 2 cards. I actually have a pocket here, but there's nothing in that pocket. And in this pocket, I made like a tag, and this is just a note page, nothing special, and it doesn't have any sewing on it. If y'all can believe that, this card has no sewing on it. And I just went around it with a red pen and did like some messy lines around there. And I stapled some ribbon to the top. So I thought that was kind of a cool effect. And it just tucks right inside of that pocket. And then I did some writing, and this card actually came from one of my viewers, and this actually came from Gretchen. Thank you, Gretchen, for the card, and I added her card into here. And then this is actually right here. This was my mammogram results. They came like really quick after I got done. So I was happy about that. So I put a picture of the mammogram results in here. And I have a little journal spot because y'all know I like little snippets here and there. And you can see I did some sewing around that snippet because I love my snippets. And this was number 6. All right, and then let's see, let's close that up. And then if we go to this page right here, this is one of my favorite pages. And y'all, this is what I call a filler page. It has no rhyme, no reason. There's nothing I wanted to journal about on here. It was just a fun page. And the meaning of this page for me was just being able to create and put some things on the page and just feel artsy. And so this is the countdown page here. And I also wanted it to be easy because y'all know at first I was like overthinking how I was going to do this whole thing. I was thinking maybe I'll do like an advent calendar where you pick the things up and stuff. And I was like, no, I'm just going to punch some circles, put some numbers on here, put some squiggly lines on there, punch a hole in it, and put some thread in here. And so these are my Christmas ornaments countdown. So I put countdown down here at the bottom because I use lots of opportunities to use some of my stick-on letters. And I did my numbers like kind of just in time as I needed them. And so I took like I would do a few at a time, and then when I needed some more, I would do some more. So I didn't make a job out of it. And I did 25 of these, and I did the countdown till I got to Christmas. And then the reveal was just the Christmas tree. So I put the Christmas tree on last. I glued some twine on here for the Christmas decorations and did some little bitty circles and put some sequins on here. So I used the opportunity to use some sequins and also some puffy letters from the dollar store, or puffy snowflakes from the dollar store as well. So this is one of my favorite pages here, and this is like, and again, that's like a filler page. I call it a filler page. All right, moving right along. So you don't always have to have something to journal about. You can put in filler pages just like I did. And then you can use trash because this hot cocoa box was from trash and I love the way it looks. So almost every time I get this box of hot cocoa, I save the package because it's like, actually it's really stunning and beautiful. Look at that. I'm trying to get the shine off for y'all there. And then I made it into a tuck spot. This card right here is made from a note page also, and I just put a picture on here. I did lots of sewing on here, and on the back of it is a page from that catalog as well. All right, let's stick you back in there, and that's number 9. And on this side is a fold out, and this was a white page again. And I did a washi tape page. So in this book, I did quite a few washi tape pages. And this gave me it was the perfect opportunity to just use a ton of washi. Because I got a lot of washi, you all. And of course, this is pictures of Boss Baby. And y'all, look at this. This was my reindeer. My reindeer came off. I'm going to have to fix my reindeer. And this right here was another page from a, what do you call it? A notepad. And this is number 7 right here. Of course, I did a lot of sewing and then I glued it on after I wrote on here. And this was from some Happy Mail, and y'all don't remember who sent it to me. But this was a piece of Happy Mail that I wanted to include and have a tab up here at the top. Next page. So as you can see, there's a lot going on all of these, all of this book. And this was from a kit from Livy's Lovelies. So you all will see her. She might pop into the chat. She might be watching. And she has an Etsy shop as well. And I went over and she has some spiritual quotes that I put throughout the book as well. So y'all can go check her out, Livy's Lovelies. And here's a piece of a cocoa box. So I got these cocoa boxes and they are so beautiful, but it's like over packaged to the hilt. It's like these big boxes and it has one package of cocoa in it. So when I saw it, I knew that I would be saving those boxes and putting them into my junk journal. And that's just what I did. So you're going to see lots of the Cocoa Box pieces in here as tags or as pockets. This piece down here is from a notepad, and you'll see I have a whole page right here. And I love these little figures. So if you're the type of person who is not a artsy person, you don't know how to draw, but you want to add like some art, if you have some note pages, you can just use the images off your note pages and they work really, really well. All right, and this one is number 10. So by the way, y'all, these numbers are also, I put them up in the shop as a digital kit. So if you're interested in those, you can grab those anytime. And this one is number 8. And we have a fold out because I wanted to talk about, I used some stamps in here. Did I use a stamp? Yeah, I used some stamps in here. And this is part of a time card because I love writing on the time cards too because they have the lines on them. And over on this side, there's a lot going on here. I got stickers from the dollar store. And y'all, I paid $1 for, I bought 2 packs of stickers, Christmas stickers from the dollar store. And I still have a full pack. And I just used these stickers all throughout. They really went a long way. So that's a cheap way to kind of zhuzh up your pages is with some dollar store stickers. And this one is number 11. So let's move right along as well. And then here is one of the Cocoa Box pockets here. And this is the side of one of those Cocoa Boxes that I changed into a tag. And then I wrote on the back. Of course, I did sewing around everything because y'all know. That's how we roll. I love doing the sewing around everything. And this one is number 12. And this is one of the quotes from Libby's Lovelies. And on this side is a card that I got. And it was a card from one of my bestest friends. So I knew that I was going to use it in this journal. And when you open it up, of course, none of this was on here when I got this. And so I did some stamping. I put some of these pieces down on here, which is going to be part of a kit, but I'm not done with it yet. I got a picture of her because she came to visit, and I have friends. I used some stickers, and I wrote about our friendship in gold here. So I thought that was pretty cool. All right. Let's see. Next. All right. So here I have actually 3 pockets on this page. And I love using pockets because if you have pictures that take up a lot of space and you do want to write about it, a great way to be able to have some space to write some snippets is to make pockets. So what I did was I mounted the pictures on some cardstock and then I made them into some side pockets. And then I used some of my cocoa mix boxes on here, and you can see I wrote a little snippet there about this. This is when I went to IKEA on the 13th. And on this side, this was Walmart. They had some ugly sweaters, and I wrote about that there. And then I have a third pocket here with one of my ladies' home journal cards from the Lady Home Journal kit over in the shop as well, with a little piece of lace here because I like putting tabs on the cards that go into the pockets, because if they're deep pockets, then it's easy to pull those out. They kind of don't get lost in the pockets. So that really works out for me. And then on this side is number 13. Here I just wrote about some Christmas songs that we used to sing when we were kids. And then in this nice large pocket here, I have a journal card. Now, if you're like me and you don't go back and read your journaling, then this is not a big deal because this was very busy on the back of here. But I did do some journaling on here, and I probably could read this if I tried, but it would be kind of hard. Or if you don't want other people to see what you're journaling, because when people find out you have a journal, they don't want to look at the pictures and stuff. They want to read what you put in there. But if you don't want them to read, then you can either write it in messy writing, or do one of these numbers and write on something that has a busy background. Next. All right, so this is a fabric belly band that I made. And when I put this in, it didn't have any stitching or anything in it. And by the time I realized it, I was like, oh no, I forgot to do my stitching on here. And I said, I can fix that. So I took a ribbon and I sewed on it, and then I glued it onto the belly band. And then that satisfied my my fix for sewing on the page. So, and then I have this wonderful card here as well. Okay. And then on this side, this is number 14. I just used the guest check. I sewed around it and did my journaling because I love using guest checks because they have the lines on it. And they have really nice colors as well. So I always like using the guest checks when I do the journaling. And then I also, this is kind of scrapbook fashion as well. I take the pictures and I actually kind of mount them on another piece of cardstock and then do some sewing. And it makes a huge difference to the look of any piece that you put in. So again, that's number 14. Next. On this page here, I have a large card in this pocket. Yeah, I'm getting hot. Let me take my jacket off real quick. Okay, and here I have, this actually came from that cookie catalog, and if I didn't tell you, you probably wouldn't know. And it had like repetitious picture, because if y'all know me, I love repetition. And I also used some of the Tim Holtz tiny words on here as well. And those words didn't mean anything to me. This is one of those things that was kind of a filler piece, but I can still go back on the back. And I actually, up until 6 o'clock, when it was time for me to come in, when it was time for me to come into work with you guys, I was actually doing some journaling in here. So I am actually going back and filling in some of the spaces that are empty. And this is a sentiment card, because I used to be a gift basket seller, and I had like lots of gift basket junk. And then these little squares are all fabric. This is fabric washi that I made. And you don't have to have fabric washi. You can use fabric and just glue it down to your pages. And I just wanted to put some samples down here. I love the way that they feel, because y'all know I am a tactile kind of person, and I love the texture. And so I love the texture of all this fabric. And then I did some sewing on some of the quotes from the digital kit from Livy's Lovelies. And I love, this is one of my favorite pages. All the repetition on here is so beautiful to me. And then next, here's some more repetitiousness from me. And these are some small envelopes, and inside of the envelopes I have some of the cards from the Ladies Home Journals kit that I have. And so I can write something on the back of each one of those. And I actually made it so that these little cards will stay down. I used some stickers from the dollar store on these. So now the background behind here is hard to see, but it's actually a napkin. So y'all, I didn't do anything special with the napkin. I used my stick glue, put it on the page, stuck the napkin on, and cut the extra parts off from around the edges. And I didn't worry about if it was wrinkled or anything like that, because I like the wrinkles anyway. So it was quite lovely. Okay, and then on this side, this is actually a Christmas card. As soon as I got this Christmas card, I went to the mailbox and I came back in, I opened it, and I was like, ooh wee, this Christmas card looks like flannel. I love it. So I cut it up and I put it in here after I did some sewing, of course. Can y'all see that sewing on there? Look at that beautiful sewing. Look at it. I sewed on a card and I made this a double pocket. But before that, this is actually on the back of a card, and I painted the card green because I didn't really dig the colors, didn't kind of match. So I painted it green and I made a double pocket. So in the first pocket I have a picture here, and this is the number 15, so day 15. And in the second pocket I have a tag that I made, like, I had this since the beginning of time and never used it. I actually made it to be an ornament, but I never used it as an ornament because I don't hardly put up my Christmas tree anymore. All right, so on this page, I have two pockets that I made, and of course, I put some photos here, and then I have some of my cocoa tags. So here's some more cocoa tags I still have yet to write on, and another cocoa tag, and they actually almost act as tabs on this particular page, so that's kind of cool too. And then on this side, y'all don't know where I got this image from. I think it came out of a magazine or something. I did some sewing around that bad boy, and what? This is like one of the most beautifulest images that I have in here. And then up here is a pocket, and have a little journal spot. And I'll be talking about the lights that are like around my desk. Actually, I have those lights on right now. So let me stick this back in here. Fits in here quite nicely. All right. And this is like a Christmas card as well, but it's one that I put in here from my stash of Christmas cards. And here's another one of my most favoritist pages. I guess, favorites are supposed to be like number one thing, but I have a bunch of favorites. So this is my Christmas sounds, and y'all, these are filler pages. I didn't want to like write anything about these in particular. I just wanted to put the music that I love the most in here, which I couldn't fit everything in because y'all know I love Christmas music. So what I did was I went onto Google and I printed out some album covers for some of the music that I like the most. And so that's one thing that you can do, and a tip for you is that you don't have to go out and look for magazines or places to find stuff to put into your book. If you know specifically that there is something out there that you want to put in your book, you can just go on Google and search for it. And that's what I did in this case. So also a good tip is don't get stuck on the simple stuff. What I did here is with my Christmas sounds, I didn't have enough of like the same type of letters to spell out Christmas sounds. You can see it's a lot of S's in here. So I had to mix and match, but they're all gold. But even if I didn't have all gold, you could definitely like just mix and match your letters as well in here. And that's a great way to use up your letters, is to just kind of just be free with it, y'all. Just be free and mix and match your letters. And the background for this is a napkin as well. It's a Christmas napkin, of course. You can barely see it, but it's back there. And I just used glue stick and I just stuck it down, okay? And then I took my Christmas albums, which also, you don't need any fancy smancy paper. This is just regular copy paper, 20-pound paper. I printed it out and I sewed it onto some fabric, and then I just glued the fabric down. Wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. I used some sentiments from the Tiny Words book, and I glued it down so everything would stay. And that's that. And I had a lot of fun doing this page, y'all. I was like, this is a masterpiece. All right, on to the next page. All right, so this is a huge belly band right here. And just so happens my mom had her mammogram the same month as I did, and I had to go with her. So these pictures are from that. And I used some of the die cuts that I've been working on since the beginning of time that will be up in the shop eventually. And this is the Christmas grunge collage paper, and I just cut it down to make a huge journal card, and I sewed on the side of here. And in case y'all can't see it, I actually journaled on the front of this card, y'all. Journaled on it. in white. I can't even go back and look at that because there's too much busyness. So this card didn't look like this before I started writing. I used my white Uniball pen, but this was just something I was just getting out of my system. Nothing bad, and I usually don't go back and read things anyway. So, and then I did some journaling on the back of this. So this was like just a huge card that I was able to use. So let's stick that back in this lovely belly band here, and this is number 17, day 17. Y'all, I actually journal every day. I'm so proud of myself. I didn't know if I was going to be able to do that before I started, but I did. Okay, so again, if you are just coming on, I'm not ignoring you all in the chat. I just knew that this was going to take a long time. Look, I'm only like halfway through. So I'm trying not to be too chatty while I'm doing this, but I will go back and I will read the chat. So I'm not completely ignoring you all. So just keep in mind, because I'm doing that, you gotta type in complete sentences if you have any questions or anything, or else I'm not gonna have an idea of what you're talking about. If you say yes, I like that, and I look at it at the end, I'm not gonna know what you liked. All right, so moving right along on this page here, I have some Christmas guest checks, and I'm not sure if these are up yet or not. I actually have the Valentine's guest checks up in the shop, but I don't think I have the Christmas ones up. So, y'all, this is actually the scanned copy, and I like working with these better than the original ones, believe it or not. The colors are amazing on it, and everything is flat, and that's why I like using these. But I like it that they're already decorated, and then I still have a spot for writing, or I could write on the back if I wanted to. In this case, I just wrote on the front, and I actually added these letters here that says fun. Here's another one of the Cocoa Box here pieces, and have a tag here that I did, and a paper clip, and then a piece from Livy's Lovely's digital kit. And then on this side, I have an open envelope, and I've made these envelopes another one of those beginning of time type of things. And I just mounted that in, and I put some pictures on a tag, and then I'll go back and I'll write about this, because this is one of my friends came from New York to visit. So I actually have a lot to write about, and this was a scrap. So this is a great way to use your scraps. You can use them as backgrounds. Let's stick that back in there, and this is number 18. Number 18, y'all. Have my glasses on. I still can't see this big old number. And then on this side, y'all, this is another one of my favorites. This tag right here. Scrap Craftastic. Lady Rachel over at Scrap Craftastic. She had like a discounted Tuesday, I forgot what it's called. And this was like on sale in her shop. And she actually sells planner inserts. And this was supposed to be a dashboard over in the, over there. And what I did was I purchased the digitals for the dashboard, and I shrunk the picture down because I love this picture, y'all. And it has this lady, and she has this wonderful white thermal cap on, and she's African American. And I also just loved it because it just spoke winter, and I thought it would fit in the book really well. So I shrunk it down. I sewed around it. Y'all see all that sewing? I put like a little mesh little topper on it, and then I did some journaling in gold on it. Y'all, this is one of my favorite pieces in this whole book. So thank you, Rachel. And then here are some more pieces from that cookie catalog. I told y'all I used a lot of pieces from that cookie catalog. All right, moving right along. All right, so on this page, I just had some pictures of the kids. I did some snippets, just some little snippets of writing, because you don't have to write like a book when you're writing in your journal. I just wrote some snippets, and I have some more of those little quotes from Livy's Lovelies. And on this side, and this is number 19, by the way, we're up to 19. And then on this side, this is another cocoa packet pocket. And this time I put some fabric around it, did some sewing, and put some lace at the top. And then here's another great tip. Somebody asked me what kind of printer I use to print my pictures out, my little Polaroid pictures. The answer is I use a regular printer. I print these on 20-pound regular copier paper, and then I cut them so they look like they're Polaroids. So this is my little Polaroid that I have, and I just did some sewing around the Polaroid. And I put a little scrap fabric that was on my desk, and that was it. Very simple tag, and then stuck it in here. So I like that technique, just to put pictures inside of the pockets, to fill your pockets. All right, moving on. All right, so here's another one where I put the pictures in. I did some snippets with some scrap paper. So this is a great way to use your scrap paper as well. And on this one, it doesn't even have real sewing on it. I just took a pen and went around it so it would have a frame, because I love for things to have frames. This was some scrap fabric as well. So lots of scraps on this page. And also, this was from the Cookie magazine. And these little tags right here were from Rhonda. Rhonda sent me a rack, which is a random act of kindness. And I used all of this little ribbon in here. Thank you, Rhonda, for that lovely gift. I almost used up everything that you gave me. So thank you, thank you. And this was just another picture. And I just sewed around it and made it into a little journal spot. And I used some words here from the Wordplay Digital Kit. And this is number 21. If y'all can see that, because there's a lot going on this page. And then here's another filler page. No rhyme, no reason. It has absolutely no meaning at all. And this is on the back of the vellum for this signature. This is the third signature. And I just used some tags, some regular Christmas tags, and put a little bit of fabric on there, because y'all know I got to have some fabric on my pages. I didn't sew them either. I just glued them on there. And I did sew this ribbon, and then I glued it onto this page. And it came out quite lovely as a nice filler page. Because for this particular page, I just wanted to get some arting done. And on this side, these are some dies that will be coming out. Some die cuts, some Christmas die cuts. I sewed around them, and this was like the perfect spot for these particular dies. It's like a little teddy bear, and this is like a Christmas basket and a Christmas flower. And it's a large pocket, and I put in one of my Christmas grunge collage papers, and this is actually upside down, because y'all, Lizzie makes mistakes too. I inadvertently put the lace on this side, and it's sewn on, so I was like, well, nobody's gonna know but us. And I could put it in the pocket upside down, so it has lots of room on the back to write about that too. So let's stick that back in. And then next, all right, so this was like a card that you punch out. I have like a whole bunch of punch out floral cards, and I just made a pocket out of that. And I used one of the inventory cards from the shop, and I made a large tag, and I did a little bit of doodling on the front. And so I still have a back that I can write on that one. And this is actually from the Cocoa Box. It's another Cocoa Box tag that I have here. And on here it says, A Miracle on 34th Street is the marquee that I printed out, and I put it on there. And I just glued this tag right onto the page, because I was like, this page still needed something at that time. And so I just stuck that on. So it's like some fabric right here. So lots of interactiveness here as well. Let's try to get you in there good. And on this side, I actually, I forgot who gave me the suggestion over on the Facebook page, because this picture is getting messed up by this little guy. He's it's a sticker, and it's messing up this page, and it's like messing my brother's face up. So this is me and my brothers in this picture, and they said, hey, put some vellum over it. So I haven't put the vellum in here yet, but I just put like a little bit of this deli paper over the top of it so it won't get messed up. I could always reprint it and then put another picture over it. But for now, that was just such a good idea. So I forgot who gave me the idea, but thank you. You know who you are. And here's another cocoa pocket here. And a photo. Y'all, this is a snail was on my mom's garbage can. And this picture came out so good, I knew I was going to use this in here. So I printed it out on regular paper. I cut it like a Polaroid and I just stapled on some lace, and I actually sewed around it because I couldn't help myself, y'all. I sewed everything. See, I did a little snippets of journaling on that as well. I went crazy. This is number 22. Next, all right, so this is a big pocket here, and this is a note page from a notepad, and I just put a picture on here because I had to get a car seat for Boss Baby, aka Sweetie Teety, aka Nugs. I have so many nicknames for her. And that's the one that said Happy New Year with me over on the Facebook page. So if y'all want to see a little video and see who Boss Baby is, there's a video over there. And I just put a die cut on here and a ribbon, because you can use ribbon, you could use cardstock, anything to do like a little topper on your tags. And then of course I added some zhuzhing up down here at the bottom, and this is number 23. On this side is a large belly band, and on the belly band, this was actually a misfit cut from the die cuts that I was doing, and I decided to keep them together because it was 3 of them. There's that repetition thing that I love so much. I put on one of my words from the wordplay kit. I put a little bit of mesh on here. I did a lot of sewing. I did a lot of work on this belly band before I actually stuck it down. And because from the page you'll see in a minute there's washi, I actually just, instead of cutting the washi off, I flipped it over and glued it to the top. The belly band was kind of coming up, so I just stapled it on. So there's actually staples on here too. And then the inside of that, this is a page from a notepad, and y'all, my French toast for that morning. I took a picture of it because, you know, I put a little bit of food pictures in here, but not a lot. And then a die cut from my Christmas die cuts, and then a ribbon, because I like putting ribbons on my journal cards. It just makes it easier to pull things out. Next, okay, so this is another instance where I wanted to do some different colors, and so these next few pages are blue pages, and I purposefully wanted to do like some pops of color. So I had the pink and then the blue, and blue is actually really good colors for Christmas. I think it's very underrated, and so I really love using the blue. Now these were washi tape pages as well. So this page and this page, the backgrounds are washi. It's blue and silver. So I used another page out of a notepad, and it's hard to see because I actually used my silver Uniball pen. Did y'all know Uniball made silver pens? They do. And I have one, and I wrote about my mom here, and I put mom at the top because there was some space here, so I used my words. And then what I did was I took my white Posca pen and I made some snow over the top of the mom, and that's one of my favorite effects in this journal. And this is a card that I have from my stash, so I had this in when I started the journal as well. And I like the blueness and the loveliness of the card, so I decided to kind of leave this page and this page the way that it was. And on this side, I wrote about It's a Wonderful Life. Y'all, this is a picture of my computer screen because I was watching It's a Wonderful Life on my computer. I love, love, love that movie. And so, of course, I own it so I can watch it at any time of the year. But, you know, it's just extra good around Christmas time. And I actually saw some things in the movie this time that I never even noticed. And I've seen that movie 553,622 times, 0.5. And then down here, I used some scraps. I just zhuzhed it up with some sewing and some distressed ink, and I used my stamps, and I love the color of the way this came out. And this was number 24. And then I also have another large journal card here, and actually, oh no, this is not the one I was writing on. And I have like just some wired ribbon at the top. And this is from the Christmas Grunge Collage collection as well. It's over in the shop. All right, and then next, okay, these 2 pages are about movies. And these 4 cards I got from Rhonda, and they came like just in time. I was like, wow, these will go perfectly on my blue pages. And so I just printed out some movie marquees. So this one is A Christmas Carol, Elf, and then It's a Wonderful Life, White Christmas, and I sewed those on like a stamp, and I did sewing around the cards, and I made these into pockets because I wanted to put like little snippets of what each movie was. So you can pull the tags out, and then on the back it'll have some writing on it. So I think there's only a couple that have writing on it right now because I have to go back and put the writing in there. And then on this side, I did a little bit more of journaling about the movies. And again, I added these words or letters up here, and I used my Posca pen and made some snow. Yay for snow! Next. Okay. So on this page, I just put some pictures here, and this is number 25. This is the kids playing on Christmas. On this side is the other half of that beautiful card that I got. And this is another idea too, because this where it says let it snow and also the snowman here, these came off of note pages. So you can always cut your note pages down. You have to think out of the box. And they had like these beautiful images, and I wanted to use them. This ribbon came from Rhonda's rack as well, and I used that on the card, and I did some journaling on the back. Y'all, look how pretty this is on the back. And the person that sent me the card is right here. But I wrote over everything else, and I did use some red distress ink around it. So these cards were some of my favorite pieces in this book. And then I also used, I think this was the very last piece of that ribbon, and I made a little tuck spot for another journal spot, which is just a little die cut. So just a little spot to write something there. And next, kids playing. And then this page was a white page, and I covered it with one of my collage pages. And then I sewed around this note page, which was perfect for this spot. And I did some writing on it, and I put playtime up here. With some sticky letters. And then number 25. Now I have 2 25s in here, because here's one number 25 and then number 25 again, because this is from the digital kit. So it's nice to have the digital numbers, the digital dates, because if I needed to use more than one of those numbers, then I definitely had it. So I had 2 of the 25, so I was able to use them on both pages. So next is number 27 and number 26. You can say they're a little bit out of order, which is not a problem for me. And I got into like the circle kind of mood here. Oh, you all, we are having some difficulties here. Let's see, we are buffering for some reason. Oh no, there it goes.